Excellent. Guys, catch me before practice. I can talk a little bit. Although my juice level is a little higher right now than when I come off the field, so forgive me if I'm.
We'll take that.
Go ahead.
Jonathan, the position that Gennard and Patrick Johnson and Joe Osman have been kind of playing. What do you call that, just so that we know what to call it?
Sam linebacker.
Sam? Okay.
Sam linebacker. So an outside backer, okay. Sam linebacker.
And then how are those three guys coming along? Because it's sort of new to all three of them.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Like I've said, they've been developing their game, what we're looking for in that position, how it fits into the scheme. It's a multiple skill set position for us, and each of them bring a different asset to the table, I think. And they're all doing a really good job just improving their game every day.
With that said, though, the way you're evaluating that position, does it change the way you look at the entire linebacker group? Like, do you maybe evaluate maybe the middle and will in one group as opposed to the Sam?
Yeah, I think so. Just because of this, what we're asking them to do within our scheme is a little bit different. The Mike and the Will are mostly stacked, and the Sam, sometimes he's stacked, but sometimes he's on the ball. So it just presents a little bit different skill set for those three guys and what we're asking them to do.
Is Ryan Kerrigan going to fit there at some point potentially?
He's done it. So we've talked about that. We always talk about, hey, who's our pair and a spare? So we're always looking for guys that can play multiple spots, especially on game day. And I know he's done it. Obviously, he hasn't taken reps at it, but yeah, possibly down the road, if it fits for us for on game day or for the depth of that position, yeah, possibly.
What about that particular position, Sam? Do you like about having guys who have experience rushing from the edge? Because all those guys were sort of edge rushers.
Yeah, absolutely. We like it a lot. That's one of the skill sets, and that's why that's a little bit different than the Mike and the Will, because they are rushing tight ends, tackles from the edge. So we like that guy to have the ability to win one-on-one around the corner. The other thing that skill set for that position is when they get turnouts and they get pin pulls and they got to set an edge, a firm edge. That's a little bit different than the Mike and the Will, because the Mike and the Will are kind of flowing behind the ball. So that's like a point of attack block that the Mike and the Will don't get a lot. That those guys have to be able to do that.
It seemed like tackling was an issue on Thursday night. Do you think there's any link between not tackling in practice and that issue?
I don't. Like I said, we tackle every day in individual. We're talking about it constantly. Now, you do need, that is a skill, and to improve a skill, you need to practice it. So that's one of the exposures that it's live and they get to tackle people to the ground that we have to clean up a little bit. But I didn't feel like, it was terrible. We missed more week 2 than we did week 1. And a lot of the times, though, it's not just the tackle. It's how you insert. It's your angle. It's your track, what we call it, as you're approaching the ball carrier. So you can clean a lot of those things up that'll help you not miss tackles before contact is even made. So that's what we stress with our guys about this week is, hey, make sure we're tracking the right way. Make sure you're, the angle is the correct angle. We're inserting in the run game the correct way. And I think it'll show up a little bit this week.
How do you tackle in individual drills, and what position groups do that?
They all do that. So we won't take guys to the ground, but they'll work on those things of the track, of where their aiming point is, what they do with their body, what they do after contact with their arms and their legs. So we're always working on that in individual, and even though it's not 100% live, they're working on the skill of that.
It seems like recently Zach McPherson has maybe started to struggle a little bit. What do you tell a young player like that, especially at that position?
I don't think that he's struggled. He got a couple balls caught on him where he's in tough duty. We put a lot on our corners as far as mentally and physically in this defense. What he knows is he has a couple things that he's going to work on and improve when we come out of. I challenged our guys, say, hey, we got 4 exposures this week. So we got practice versus ourselves, we got 2 against the Jets, and then we got a game. So I said, everybody I want, and the position coaches did a great job with this, everybody got one thing that they needed to work on to improve individually, that will help us as a unit. So his thing was just eyes and really alignment, assignment, key technique. So, do you know how to get aligned? Because if you're misaligned with certain coverages, it puts you in a hard spot to cover for the down. So a lot of that, he just needs to clean up his pre-snap. We control everything. He needs to control that, which he's done a good job. Like I said, we put him in some tough spots in the game. And, he'll learn and rebound, and he'll have a good week of practice.
Jonathan, how valuable was it for him to get that experience, starting against the Patriots, going against the first-team offense,
Excellent, because that's who he's going to be playing against when we line up week 1. So we like to see, our guys that are going to be playing against the other team's best people. So, and that's a really good evaluation tool for him, and he had a good week of practice versus them, and he got a couple balls caught on him, but that's not out of the ordinary for that position.
Jonathan, with the hits principle, is there a point system that you utilize, or
No,
how do you incentivize that?
No, our guys have bought into that, and it's that goes into it's how we want to play, and they have a very clear picture of that standard, and we're looking to always get better at that, and our guys have done a good job to buy in and continuing to improve with that.
When it comes to the takeaways portion of that, heavy emphasis on swiping, getting the ball away. How do you walk that line to ensure that they're doing the first thing first of getting the tackle?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of times that we don't want that guy, the first guy in, to make the tackle. We want him to punch the ball. I think that what goes into takeaways for me is the more opportunity you have for takeaways, it comes down to the guys being in the right position and all 11 being in the right position, because then there's different things that come alive where we have, population to the ball, everyone's taking the right angles, we have more than one guy hitting the ball carrier, and that's when you see those plays start to happen. The one with Raekwon in the game, he plays his block and the ball kind of creases through and he runs to the ball, right, which is what we want. And then the ball carrier doesn't see him, and he was ball aware and violent. So what we talk about is once you get there, if you either are the first guy in making the tackle or the second or third or fourth guy hitting a guy, you have to know where the ball is, and you have to be violent with how you try to take it out. And that's what you saw with Raekwon. He came up from behind him and punched the ball, and it came right out. The guy never saw him. So that was a good example for our guys to see that as, hey, we got to be ball aware and violent. It has to be on our mind. If you're going to take the ball away, it has to be on everybody's mind constantly, all the time. So, and that's why we practice the way we practice.
Jonathan, the play caller gets more attention, obviously, on the offensive side than on defense.
Good.
It's your first time calling a defense. What goes into that? How much of a part of your job do you think is the game day play calling, and especially in situational work such as third down?
Yeah, I would say, our staff's been great, because I don't say, hey, here's the call sheet, guys. We talk about all those situations and what we want to call as a staff first. And, where I kind of switched this year a little bit is I knew when I was working as a position coach, I knew what the coordinator was going to call, and then I always felt it was my job to prep those guys for certain situations that can come up with these calls. I tell those guys, here's what you should be thinking. Here's what you need to do. Here's what you should be thinking. So now I just go from the flip side. So like yesterday, we got in a meeting and said, hey guys, here's the calls. Here's what I'm going to call the next 2 days and in the game. And here are the situations that can come up. And we got to be all 11 out there, have to know what they need, how they fit into that puzzle. So I think for me, it just went from small picture to big picture just a little bit more. But it's a collaborative effort with our coaches, and that's why I'm so excited about our coaches that we have on our staff, because there's a lot of good expertise and a lot of good ideas, and we throw those ideas around a lot. So it's and then our guys, honestly, like, there's nothing that should come out of my mouth in the headset that they're like, what? Like, it's not like that, and they know that. So they know pretty much what I'm going to be calling.
So how are those logistics working kind of game day? The communication, How do you feel
Yeah.
you are first time doing that?
Pretty good. I mean, I the first thing I said on a headset for our guys was calm is contagious. So, everyone's been on a headset where there's like 10 dudes talking and you can't, like, it's moving pretty fast, and we have a very clear picture of, hey, this guy's responsible for this guy's responsible for this. Here's the communication that goes into my ear. I make the call, it goes to the mic, and we play. So I think we've streamlined a lot of the communication, and it's in my opinion, I think that the deal went out one time on me yesterday, or the last game, and it was awesome to see because I kind of sit back from the defense, and then you got the position coaches kind of on the line of scrimmage subbing, and you saw the mic go like this, right? And I didn't even see it. I was actually looking at my sheet, so I made the call. I was looking at my sheet, and Nick saw it, and Rallis, and he's responsible. If it goes out, you signal it in, and signal it in, boom, got the call. So our guys are versed to know, hey, these are the mechanics on game day, and this is how we're going to function.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Let's have a good day today, huh?